Mabuhay! Kamusta everyone? Ako nga pala si Danica Cecilio.
I'm Jackie Urian.
I'm Griselda Guzman.
And I'm Patty Belmonte, and this is FAMILYA TALKS, the family of Filipino Americans,
where we feature Filipino Americans sharing their life experiences.
Stay tuned for exciting games and activities that our guests will be participating in today.
This is episode number 2, The Filipino American Way. In today's episode, we are going to explore the culture of Filipino Americans living in the United States.
Ngayon, kamusta na mga familias? This is the Chica of the Day.
Chica!
So ano-ano ang ating Chica of the Day?
So, as you may know, election season is currently happening here in the Philippines, right?
Yes.
Registered na ba kayo?
Of
Yes.
course. Last year.
Yung
So, valid
nakaabot.
registration dito, we have our overseas Filipinos who might not be able to vote or not know that they can vote even when they are overseas.
Nauso na kasi ngayon mga online, di ba?
Really?
Since pandemic, gano'n. Yung sa mga government, kapag nag-a-apply ng something, pwede na siya magpasa online.
Oh, right.
So the highest overseas Filipino voter turnout occurred during the 2016 elections, where 31.45, approximately 400,000 voters cast their votes. So for 2022, COMELEC will print over 65.7 million ballots, of which 1.7 million are allocated for overseas Filipinos. But the latter may have significantly decreased because of the repatriation of over 800,000 OFWs back to the Philippines due to the pandemic. So OFs can, however, participate more than cast a ballot. Many can ship a freight of valuable wisdom based on grounded historical perspective and true understanding of the political events that shape the collective life of our people. The OFs can intensify their participation in the 2022 elections using technology. For example, they can make a Zoom commitment to host regular meetings with relatives, friends, schoolmates, former workmates, etc., who are voters in the Philippines that are still undecided or still persuadable. Every vote counts, yet the OFW's influence in Philippine elections is completely disproportionate to their economic contribution to the country. So OFs all over the world should be applauded for their contributions, but they can contribute more than their hard-earned dollars. They can transfer the stronger currency of truth-telling and combat the infodemic of fake news this 2022 election.
Yay!
Yeah.
Wisely.
Our guest for today is Miss JC Yoder, who is a college student from University of Central Florida.
Everyone, let us all welcome Miss JC Yoder.
Hi!
Hi, JC.
Hi.
Oh my God! Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hi!
Hi.
Nasa Amerika.
Oh,
pa,
yes.
no?
Yeah, right now I'm in
Diba,
Connecticut.
nagtatagalog?
Yes,
Oh my God.
Naintindihan ko naman.
Kami kinakabahan sa part na yun. Like, oh my God. So, welcome to Familia Talks. So, before anything else, we wanted to ask you, how are you today?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I had a good day. I'm here with my ate and visiting her and her baby who's turning 1. So, I've had fun. Nagbe-babysit lang.
Oh, cute. So, you answered po in our... Nagpo ako.
Ba't ka napupo? Are we the same age?
Anong age mo na?
I'm turning
Wala
22.
ka.
Ay,
Hindi
22.
pa.
I'm 23.
Okay.
Sorry.
Still.
Tanda ka.
Kasi ako yung dapat nagpupo.
So, your parents are both Filipinos?
No, just my mom.
So yung dad mo is yung American.
American.
You were exposed to both cultures. Hindi ka naman yung parang nalilito in your early ages na ito is Filipino, ito yung American culture. Hindi naman.
Medyo nalilito ako with American culture actually kasi the only outlet I'd have would be from my dad. I grew up in the Philippines kasi. So I only know like Filipino culture pero even then it's like I didn't know much about America until I got here or on the news lang.
You migrated at age 15.
15.
When you migrated to America, I don't want to say na parang nagkaroon ka ng struggle. What is your experience po? Ay, nagpo na naman ako. What is your experience in moving? Parang you got a little bit nervous pa or chill lang since may kamag-anak ka ba dun sa America?
Technically just my dad's family. Some family on my mom's side, pero they're all over the place. But when we moved kasi, yung decision na yon was because my dad could have insurance here. Kasi sa Pinas, wala siyang insurance. And he had throat cancer in 2010. We kind of lost our life savings, just getting him alive. And thank God he is alive. But my mom made that choice in 2013 that we should, all pack up and just move here. And we moved to a state na we had no family in. So it was kind of nerve-wracking. But my mom chose Florida to move because yung education system is really good. Walang state tax. There's a lot of benefits. The rent is lower. Like retirement city, it's just full of old people basically. So parang perfect for my dad, to make sure he'll be fine. Yeah, I guess my experience, the biggest one was education-wise kasi the Philippines is actually a little advanced in the education system. Bago kami nag K-12, diba?
Yeah.
We were still in what do you call it? Like there's just 4 years of high school, walang middle school, ganun. Dito meron. So when I got here, I was put into 10th grade. I went to a public high school in the States and actually advanced ako sa math, advanced ako sa English.
Wow.
And it was crazy kasi yung mga classmates ko, wala silang alam. And I'm sitting there like, I shouldn't be here right now. But it was because of those advancements that, let me do college early kasi may program dito sa Florida that's like dual enrollment, parang enrolled ka sa high school tsaka you can take college courses online. So that's what I've been doing. And now I'd say looking back on that experience in high school, kasi super culture shock ako because I'd have classmates that like they'd come to class high. I've never had classmates like that before in the Philippines. Yeah, and yung mga classmates ko that would go talk back to their teachers. If you're in the Philippines, you do that.
Guidance.
Like, guidance counselors agad. But no, not here. They let that happen kasi wala, they can't fight against the kids. They fight against the kids. They'll fight against the parents, diba? It's kind of, it was shocking for me. And I had trouble. I didn't even like make many friends. Actually, first friend ko dito sa America was a Filipino. She was like the only other Filipino in our school. And it was just lucky lang that I got to meet her. It was a little difficult, kind of. It made me really miss the Philippines.
What state was your dad originally from?
He was born and raised in Ohio. Tapos, he's been around like all different states. He lived for a while in in Tennessee, and then Chicago, and then went to California for work. It's like he was all over the place before he decided to move to the Philippines like 20-some years ago.
So you said earlier na nagkaroon ka ng struggles and culture shock when you moved in America. So how do you adjust or cope up with this?
Baka I didn't adjust well. I think I
Slowly
didn't
na
adjust
lang,
well.
no?
Slowly lang through the years over time. I think most of it was just accepting the fact that I'm here in a new place, and seeing so many people that I'm not used to seeing. I'm not used to seeing so many white people, black people, Latinos. There's a lot of Latinos in Florida. And it felt so different na parang it was one of the reasons I kept flying back to Manila kasi I kept missing it. Like every year I'd fly back, and it was easy kasi yung classes ko became online, so that made it better. But even when I travel to California, I went to California one time sa San Fran, and there's a city there, like it's called Daly City. I was so shocked ng daming Filipinos there. Like I felt like I was back in Manila again. And then I went to Texas recently, just last month, and the same thing happened in Houston. In that community lang where I visited my friend, there's so many Filipinos. And it just made me realize, like, yes, I'm in a different country physically, pero the adjusting was just accepting it. Like, I can still miss my home, but every day it's like, it's adjusting to it in a way that I don't know how to cope.
So how is life in America different in the Philippines?
everything's bigger physically. There's more space for roads. There's not, kasi sa Pinas, I always felt a little claustrophobic in the city kasi there's so much traffic, there's so many people. You go to the mall and it's almost like shoulder to shoulder kayo.
Crowded,
Yeah,
oo.
you're crowded. In some way, medyo I got used to that a little, but when I got here, it's like I can breathe a little bit more. I didn't feel as restricted, and also I had more opportunities because here I learned how to drive easily. At the times I learned to drive in Manila, it's like heart attack city. Like I feel
Oo
so,
nga.
like anything I can do, it's like closing in on me, all the cars.
Yeah.
But here it's like everyone keeps their space. Even like food portion wise is so big. It's one of the reasons I gained so much weight. Like when I moved in 2015, nagulat ako like 2 years later, I was like 20-30 pounds heavier. It's so shocking, man.
Okay lang yan. Enjoy life.
I know, but
Yeah.
kasi food is fast, diba? And you can
Mm.
get it easier. Like yung small size ng Coke dito sa McDo, it's like the large size in the Philippines.
Talaga.
Grabe.
Ang hirap
I'm
naman.
not joking, ah. It's so much. Tapos, I feel like I have to finish.
Pang family na.
For sharing.
Oh my
Oo.
gosh, yeah. And then I went to, there's a Jollibee near where we used to live in Florida. And the times we'd go there, grabe, we actually spent a lot of money. Just buying, it's just me, my dad, and my mom, right? But we'd spend up to $30. That's 1,500 pesos. And we're probably buying the same amount of food. It's like we don't even buy a bucket. Wala pa yun.
Ang mahal!
Oo, mahal. Kasi imported, maybe. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Ayun, talking about food, ikaw, sarili mo, what do you prefer eating? American or Filipino food?
It's kind of hard to answer kasi yung mom ko, she barely cooked Filipino food growing up when I was growing up kasi nag-adjust yung mom ko sa dad ko. Adjust to his palate.
Okay.
Alright,
She's
okay.
American, di ba? Medyo just pizza, burgers, chicken, ganon. So, I barely remember eating a lot of Filipino food. It's just like mga occasions like family reunions or pag if I'm at my lola's house, they usually cook Filipino food. But medyo basic ako, I like adobo. Like we had adobo for dinner. My mom cooked for us. It was nice to taste it again. But I tried laing kasi my friend just visited recently and she came back with all these packs of different Filipino foods. Pero it's instant, na you can cook it easily. So I tried some laing and it was nice. Pero if it's like what I prefer, obviously American food kasi it's what's around and it's easy to get.
And yun yung naturo, nakakain mo nung bata ka eh.
Mm-mm.
How do you think spending your life in America affects you?
Medyo stressful. Because I think it's the political climate here that I'm not used to. And also, personality-wise, yun yung pinaka-biggest culture shock sa akin was the personality differences. A lot of people are less respectful or, you kind of have to earn, you earn respect in a way. Yeah, kind of, it's a little, it's not that it's a bad thing, but because, America's so rooted in independence, right? It's the I. Ako yung una, like, ako yung bida. If it's not me first, you're second. So, and I was thinking about this kanina. I think a lot of the reason why I gravitate more towards my Filipino roots and culture is because I grew up learning the history. America, I never really learned the history of America. Like my dad only would watch American news. So kung what's on now is what's happening now. I can't sympathize with what happened then, which is what my dad was like so sad to hear when I moved here and finally learned US history. Parang sa akin, it wouldn't resonate as much as Filipino history did. I'm more jaded, I guess, towards America. It's all that I see on the news is just the negative side, and it's all that I'm exposed to. So parang it's like ingrained na since I was a kid that this is how America's like right now. So I haven't seen a positive side of America yet, and maybe I'm still searching for that a little, but it hasn't been going well.
For a moment, do you ever find yourself finding or missing the culture in the Philippines? when you were little, yung parang you grow up with this Filipino culture and then you move to America. So parang nami-miss mo ba yung dati mong life here in the Philippines?
Yeah, I mean, kahit yung reasons na yan that I gave na parang claustrophobic sa Pinas, all of those, it's crowded, whatever. Even those negative things I'd miss. Like, I miss tall buildings. Walang tall buildings sa Florida. It's kasi ang wide ng space, you just put things horizontally, diba? You don't need to build vertically just like in Manila. Things like that, I'd miss so much. Kahit medyo chaotic siya, parang that's also a beauty to me, because I'm used to it. I miss Manila every day kasi I associate the Philippines with my friends and my family. That's where they are. So if I'm missing them, I'm also missing my country, diba?
You grew up to this Filipino cultures, diba? Do you still practice it until today as a family?
Slippers in the house.
All right.
Do you
I
eat
guess.
together?
Yeah, but not all the time actually. We've stopped kind of eating together. Medyo when my mom feels like it lang, call me out of my room. Let's eat outside. Or that's I think actually, you know what, now that you mentioned eating together, that's a big Filipino culture that I miss a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I just don't have friends here to eat with. I just like then my family lang. That's why this trip to Connecticut has been nice because we have our meals together again, parang we're family again, I don't know what other sort of cultural practices that I do. I don't speak up against my parents if that's something.
Ano yung citizenship mo right now? Dual? Dual ba yun? Ano tawag doon?
Actually, I was shocked to learn this. Hindi pala ako dual citizen. Kasi pag you need to apply for that, for like a certificate saying that you're a dual citizen. But I did have 2 passports growing up. I still do. Weird, right? Yung ginawa ng parents ko. Yeah, yung ginawa ng parents ko when I was born, they made sure I got an American passport right away. So they applied sa embassy, they did all that paperwork, and then we just kept renewing it. So in that way, dual citizen ako. But officially, I didn't know this, but I'm not. I don't have a certificate saying that I am. I just have 2 passports.
So, kapag nag-fill up ka ng documents, ano nilalagay yung citizenship? Filipino?
Depends. Nasaan ba ako?
It depends
But I usually
na
put
lang.
Filipino American. Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you have a message for those who will be migrating to America in the future?
Wow, on the spot.
Yeah.
I guess if you're migrating and you're our age or you're still in high school or you're so used to the culture that you're in right now, I guess the message that I have is you don't lose that. It will still be a part of you, and there's a lot of things that should remind you of your roots, and going back to your roots is always, it's a blessing and a journey because you're reminded of a lot of the beauty that your country has gone through. So I don't know, don't lose hope if you feel outcasted, because I've always felt outcasted a lot. Even being in Manila, parang outcast ako because a lot of people would see me as foreigner, diba? That's weird. I'm not. I'm not. I feel like I'm Filipino. I grew up here and I learned the language para lang pwede ako magsalita. I can understand one another. If you truly love your culture and your country, it's not gonna go away. It's still gonna be there. Yeah.
Right. Ayun, thank you. So before we end this interview, we are going to have a mini game.
Yay.
So have you heard of
Tongue twister.
Tongue Twister?
Sure.
Filipino edition naman.
I don't know a lot, but I'm excited.
We're going to present to you Filipino phrases and you have to say it 3 times.
Okay.
So, syempre, kailangan mabilis yung pagkakasabi. So, good luck and be careful not to get your tongue twisted. So, bawal ang mabulol.
Oh no.
Ready na po ba kayo?
Game.
Okay. Patty, gusto mo sample?
Sige. First
Go, Pat.
is...
Since mahirap ka din sa Tagalog.
Hoy, magaling ako sa phrase na to. Magaling
sige,
ako
game.
sa phrase na to. Yung first one is, minekaniko ni Monico ang makina ng minika ni Monica.
Okay.
Minekaniko ni Monico ang makina ng minika ni Monica.
3 times. Kahit 3 times lang.
3 times.
Missing ako. But let's do this. Game. Ito, yung pinakamahirap pa yung first. Okay. Minikaniko ni Monico ang makina ng minika ni Monica. Minikaniko ni Monico ang... Minikaniko. Wait, minikaniko ni Monico ang makina ng minika ni Monica. Minikaniko ni Monico ang makina ng minika ni Monica.
Wow.
Yes!
Okay, number 2.
Suli ang bituka ng butiki sa butika.
Ano daw?
Bumili ako ng bituka
Yeah.
butiki sa botika. I don't know what bituka means.
Botika. Yung
Botika.
para, oo.
Bodega or boutique ata.
Boutique.
I know
Oo.
what butiki is. What's
Ano
bituka?
Bituka. Yung bituka, ano yan? Ano nga yun?
Yung laman loob, yung
Yan laman loob,
intestine.
Ah,
Intestine.
Intestines.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Sige. Bumili ako ng bituka ng butiki sa botika. Bumili ako ng bituka ng butiki sa botika. Botika. Bumili ako ng bituka ng butiki sa botika.
Ayan.
Number 3.
I know this one.
Yan. Nakakapagpagaba.
Kahit ako di ko kaya.
Nakakapagpapabagabag. See, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ang galing niya. Number 4.
Yan. Pitong puting pating.
77 puting pating. Is it pating or
Pating.
Pati. Joke lang.
pating?
Shark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shark.
Okay, pating. 77 puting pating. 77 puting pating. I can't do it.
Okay lang yan. Okay, next.
ang relo ni Leroy ay relo. Rolex.
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 Dapat Rolex.
Yes.
Wow.
No, it has to be Filipino. So, Rolex.
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 True.
Sige, okay. Ang relo ni Leroy ay Rolex. Ang relo ni Leroy ay Rolex. Ang relo ni Leroy ay Rolex.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So, di ka naman nahihirapan, no? Ang galing mo sa Tagalog. Ano ba yung first language mo?
English.
English.
Of course.
English
English,
talaga.
Yung
Kahit
Tagalog.
nasa Philippines ka before?
Yes. Kasi
Oh.
even my mom was an English teacher.
Oh, I see.
Actually,
That's all.
yun yung pinakamahirap sa Pinas when I was living there was being in school and learning Filipino. Kasi my mom, she couldn't help me. Siya yung Filipino eh. And when she talks to my ate naman, my ate and I have different dads. My ate is separate from her dad and she was born and raised in Manila then. When she talks to my mom, they always talk in Tagalog. Pero when my mom talks to me, she always speaks to me in English. So parang nawawala ata yung Filipino ko. Yung Filipino ko, I only learned from my friends talaga. Kasi that's what they're speaking, diba? Parang I needed to survive then.
Parang ganun din yung Filipino American experience. It's a lot of survival din, no?
Yeah. Like, I didn't go through reading Jose Rizal's works. That was one thing na parang it still disappoints me na I couldn't read it. I couldn't even read Ibong Adarna in 7th grade. That was so hard for me. It almost failed me nga. And my mom couldn't help me also na parang
Malalim kasi yung
what am I
Tagalog.
supposed to do?
Okay lang. Hindi mo na.
Pero advantage yun sa'yo when you move to America.
Oo naman,
Since
yeah, 'cause-
yung language mo
Language.
is English.
Yeah, I already speak English pretty well enough. Tapos, knowing Filipino actually helped me learn Spanish in college. I took 2 semesters. Parang, a lot of the words are very close.
Yeah,
And
same.
the pronunciation.
Yeah.
And,
Mm-mm.
ako lang yung marunong mag-enye. Ako lang, reading the
Yeah.
enye. In my class, the Americans, I have to read an enye.
Ano yung double L? Diba may mga double L?
It's pronounced like a Y. Hindi siya katulad sa
Katulad sa
Pinas
atin.
na, we pronounce the L, no?
ganun.
Hard.
Yeah.
Pero in Spanish, it's like a...
Why?
Yeah. I can't think of an example.
So yun.
Yeah. I can't. I learned 2 semesters of Spanish. Wala akong gone na, you know.
So before we end this episode, we would ask if you have any words pa to say to our dear viewers and listeners.
I've met Filipino Americans here that they don't even talk. They don't even speak Tagalog. You know? Yeah. Yung mga yun, it's like, to me, it's a little offending in a way because I spent so much effort trying to learn while being in Manila as a way to survive, diba? So I think the last few things I'd say is put in the effort to learn your roots, even if it's just a few words lang. You don't have to be fluent. Ako nga, I'm still not fluent. I can't even say a proper sentence in Filipino. And if you made me read a paragraph in Filipino, I'd probably cry in front of you. So, but still, understand your culture, but do it not to satisfy others, but, to satisfy yourself, know your identity. It's parang opposite for me. I didn't learn much about America. So in that way, I'm also disappointed in that. I should have taken the effort then to learn. And my parents maybe should have also helped me out. But yeah, if I could go back in time and do it all over again, I would get back. When I'm here, parang hindi ako out of place. If you really truly love your country and want to know, then put the effort and time to do so. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you po
Thank
so
you.
much at marami po kaming natutunan ngayong araw.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
So
then.
to our dear viewers, thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. If you have any questions or gusto niyo lang ng kausap, feel free to contact us at our email, ournewbayan@gmail.com, and explore more on our website.
Before you go, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Bayan. Maraming
course.
salamat, Pamilya.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you po.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having me.
you.